no power, he's got his strong beliefs. My lover's got no fame, he's got his strong beliefs. My lover's got no money, he's got his strong beliefs. Want more and more, people just want more and more freedom and love. What he's looking for.
Welcome, boys. I don't know when my last recap was. Someone can tell me, but welcome. This is week 3 Dynasty recap. Wearing the Knicks hat because, 1 month away. I don't want to think about the Jets anymore. It's kind of pitiful at this point, but that's just that. Okay. Matchup number 1, me versus Goldie. Not really a nail biter. I kind of knew it from the jump. I texted Mike within like 5 minutes of watching Red Zone. GG's. Tyreek had like a 54-yard touchdown in the first minute of the game, or 2 minutes. I don't even remember at this point. And I was like, he's going to put up a 30-piece, and I'm just clipped. I was not wrong. He did put up a 30-piece, and I did lose. But I did have the opportunity to win if I started Thielen over Lockett or Godwin. I don't know. That's going to be a mess the entire year. Goldie's the only undefeated team in the league now. Congrats to Goldie. Will it last? I don't know. The wide receiver room's kind of shaky outside of Waddle and Hill, but they should be able to carry for the rest of the year. Derrick Henry. The jury is still out for him. He is a wanted man. If anyone has seen him, let me know. Basically available for pennies at this point. I don't even know. T-Law, is he back to the Urban Meyer days? Possibly. We don't know. Will Kyle Pitts ever reach his full potential? The jury is still out there too. Arthur Smith likes to run the ball. I saw them run on 3rd and 6 in a critical moment at the end of the game. Let Ritter throw it. I don't know. That whole team is a mess. Somehow they won 2 games this year. I don't know. Let's just delete my matchup. Let's just move on. Okay. Let's get to Jack and Danny Taub. 2-1. Congrats, Jack. I don't think anyone expected this, no offense. But we basically knew the trajectory of the Danny Taub team. We know how that's going to go. 0-3 makes sense. Again, no offense. Watson back. Watson scores 20 points. Jack wins. I guess that makes sense, right? The math adds up. His starters are looking good, but knock on wood, they'll stay healthy. Michael Thomas's ankle, who knows? It might go any day. Like Max said last week, Danny and Taub, they have good pieces. They have pieces, but they just need to develop. They need that extra year, CJ Stroud looks like an absolute stud. Maybe he just makes that whole Debo trade worth it for him, because he traded Debo, which at the time he was coming off that crazy season, top 2 or 3 receiver in the league. Thought he was going to be my Devontae Adams replacement. That didn't happen, sadly. I traded him for Rashad Bateman and 2 firsts. The 2 firsts ended up being Sky Moore and CJ Stroud, so Bateman and Moore kind of suck. Bateman definitely sucks. The jury's still out on Moore, but I feel like Mahomes kind of just spreads it out way too much to focus on one receiver like he did with Tyreek Hill, and it's kind of just the Kelsey show over there. But yeah, listen, if CJ Stroud is him, he's him, and that's that, and it's another trade in the books for me. Okay, next matchup, Max versus Ovi. Moment of silence for Sam Howell having 0.6. Let's just put it out there. 4 interceptions. He throws 1 less interception. Max wins. It seems like the defense was pretty strong this week, that it affected his own team. The quarterback matchups were very rough to watch. I'm not going to lie. Russ, Justin Fields, Sam Howell. I mean, Herbert was like the only bright spot. It wasn't a fun matchup, but out of all the crazy stats that happened in the entire week, Max having not one but both of the best running backs was kind of crazy. But really the one that kind of sticks out to me is that he started two running backs. He started Bijan Robinson and Raheem Mostert, and Raheem Mostert had 35 more points. Let that one sink in. The generational talent, the number one overall pick in a run-heavy offense. Mostert had 35 more points. I don't know. Did Max know? Is he a time traveler? We don't know. We all clowned him for his pick. I can't even pronounce the guy's name. Devon Achane. Fuck if I know. I have no clue. But he's a baller. I don't know what his trajectory is for the rest of the season, but I know that in every other redraft league, this dude is going to go for like 50 fab. It's just like undisputed, and he's already on his team. So I don't know. And then on Ovi's side, outside of Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson, there's not much to be excited about. JT seems like he's dead. Cooper Kupp is dead. Hopefully he comes back. Maybe he brings a little resurgence to the team. But it doesn't look good. If by the halfway point he's at a losing season, he might cut ties and sell his team for picks. We do not know yet, but I can see him trading D-Hop for like a second round pick at the end of the year. Something like that. I don't know. Also, Sam Laporta looks like a good piece. Good tight ends don't come around often, so it's nice to see a good one come around. Well, so far he's been good. He looks like he's meshing very well with Jared Goff. Again, looks great. Next, we got Mash versus Vic. Is Mash back? I don't know. He looked like he had a good week this week. But also, Vic kind of had a weird week. I just don't know if I see Mash's wide receivers holding up for the whole season. Cooper Kupp will eventually come back. So Puka and Tutu Atwell will not be putting up top 15 numbers the entire year. I don't know. He's probably going to need wide receiver help. He'll probably have to call like Lawrence at some point because that dude has way too many wide receivers. I'll get to that later. I love that he put Burrow on the bench. Prove it to me. I love that move. Prove to me that you're a starter. Starting Kirk Cousins and Patrick Mahomes, I kind of love that. They both played very well this week, and it led to him winning. I'm pretty sure points-wise, if he starts Burrow, he loses. I think the numbers work out there. I think he won by less than 20, so something to that effect. Vic, not worried about Vic's team. Vic's team is still very strong, still probably the team to beat in this league. Daniel Jones is definitely a problem, but when you have Jordan Love, who was under the tutelage of Lamar Jackson, you're fine. You are fine. There's no problem there. I find there's no issue there. Somehow he waited 3 years for quarterback one. I'm pretty sure if like you look at all the numbers for the entire year, Jordan Love is probably top 5. So I think he's a perennial starter for the rest of the year for Vic. I think him and Jared Goff are just going to be two superstars. I don't know. Even if he didn't have Devontae Adams, who surely gave him the win this week with that 40 bomb, I still think Vic would probably still have the best team in the league. Even if he had Derrick Henry. Because you still have like great wide receivers. I don't know. Vic's team is amazing. There's nothing else to say. And then the last matchup of the week. I wouldn't say it's the snooze fest of the week, but like it kind of was. This from the jump, it looked like Lawrence was going to win. I think Teddy and Ezra, they're in full tank mode now, especially with trading Etienne for that first round pick with Jack, which is a great move for Jack. I think that helps Jack's case in making a playoff push this year. I don't know how much further he can go. It's really just dependent on the health of his players, but honestly, ETN was a good snag for him for a first round pick. He's a first round pick talent. Keenan Allen is still Keenan Allen, and like I said before, Lawrence has a lot of receivers. He has 10 receivers on his team. We have 20 people on our team. Do the math. That's half. I think he should be trading with people that have deficiencies in that area, like Mash or myself. I don't know. I can't seem to find answers at wide receiver. No matter how hard I try, I just can't seem to find it. But because of the Kyler injury, the downfall of Lawrence's team will be a quarterback too. If somehow he manages to trade one of his wide receivers for a strong 2, like a Kirk Cousins or something, I think the sky's the limit with Lawrence's team. I think he's the only guy on paper that has a shot at stopping Vic this year. Like on that week-to-week basis, he just has too many players that have that that crazy upside. But in terms of his wide receivers, I would say that he has to start Devonta and AJ Brown every week. You can't bench one or the other. You're just going to get yourself in a Mike Will situation like last year. Shout out Mike Will. Oh, now he's down to 9 receivers. Never mind. But regardless, points still being made. You got to start one of them because it sounds like one of them's going to go off and the other one's not really, because Devonta the first 2 weeks went off and then AJ Brown had a good week. So it's kind of just up in the air. Yeah, that's the recap. Couple of points for discussion for the league. Last week Max didn't really have anything to add, but the week before Ovi had something to add. I would say that I see in other dynasty leagues there's the IR and the taxi squad. I know the idea that taxi squad is kind of a heated topic because then there's no people on the wire, so like don't put them on your team. But I definitely do think we should have an IR, at least one IR spot. I know that there's 20 guys on our team, but when a guy goes out with a season-ending injury like a Aaron Rodgers, like in the first week, I feel like you should be able to pick up one more person. Not like that person's going to win you that many games, but I do feel like an IR spot is something that we should invest in, at least one. At least one for the league. Taxi squad, if you want to keep doing pickups, we can do pickups. It's not that serious. And now, before I end off, I thought I had a funny idea with Yom Kippur being yesterday, that one thing every single team should have been praying for during Neilah outside of yourself. For myself, Kyle Pitts to have double-digit points. Just straight up, Kyle Pitts having double-digit points. That's what I should have prayed for. Mike, stay the number 1 seed. Keep the good times going. 3-0. Make it 4-0. I have no idea who he's playing next week, but just keep stacking wins, Mike. Jack, Michael Thomas's ankle. Just straight up. Just pray that it stays solid. Danny and Alex, borrow Max's time machine. If he figured it out, just borrow the time machine, jump forward a year and see where we are there. Because this season doesn't seem good. They will beat at least 1 or 2 teams randomly for no reason, but they should be high in the draft order this year, and somehow Jack will rig it and they won't get first pick and it'll go to Mash and he'll get Caleb. So, I don't know. That's just what happens. Max, maybe a Najee comeback. I didn't really know what to write here. Najee comeback. He seems dead. He has like 5 points over the first 3 weeks. I don't know. It seems bad, Najee. I don't. That trade looks a little bit better day over day. But JT is still a piece of that puzzle. That doesn't make sense yet. Ovi, a JT trade, a Jonathan Taylor trade, maybe. Hopefully he gets a trade. Mesh, Cooper Kupp to stay hurt, so he can get Tutu Atwell and Puka stats run up. If Cooper Kupp stays hurt, they have relevance. If he comes back, he takes too many targets away. You get the drift. Mesh, oh no, it was Mesh. Vic, nothing. I think Vic should just wish for health. That's about it. Everything seems well with his team. Maybe like Austin Eckler to be healthy, but that's about it. Teddy and Ezra, Caleb, like I said before, they should hope to get Caleb, even though he'll probably end up on Mash's team somehow. He'll rig the lottery. I don't know how it works. And then Lawrence at quarterback too. Like I said before, Lawrence at quarterback too. That's all he really needs to take that next step forward, and sky's the limit if he gets like a Kirk Cousins or someone that's like somewhat decent that can put in like a nice 17 points a game, like guaranteed. That's the recap, and see you guys.